Yuji and Megumi drop into the Fortnite map and immediately get spawn camped. Immediately get attacked from the get-go. But yes, we finally get the true proper begins of the Culling game, or at least our perspective into the Culling games, which honestly at this point I wasn't really expecting it to be this heated right off the bat, but I think that's due to the fact that I didn't really get a sense of like how long it's been since this actually began. I mean, yes, they technically say the dates on there and everything like that, but I miss it half the time, and they've been jumping around so much that I kind of just glossed over it at this point. But yes, apparently it's been 12 days. So yeah, these people have been in here for a long time. So I kind of agree with Megumi at the end. I gave him some bad advice. I mean, the assumption's good there. The fact that, yes, these past sorcerers are going to be pretty bloodthirsty. They're going to be used to killing. They're sorcerers of the past that have had to fight, survive. And yes, they made this pact to do this. So presumably either they've been tricked in it or something like that, or they wanted to do this. And so they're probably used to killing. And yeah, technically, I agree with him. At this point, you could see a lot of people being influenced that, but I think it's more the fact that these people have been in there for 12 days. It's kill or be killed. And additionally, in my opinion, you're going to have a lot of people here that are, if they see the rules, they're going to see the rules. They're coming up to their dead end. Again, if everybody else comes the assumption of that, that's the other thing there, because you know, the people that we kind of follow, like Yuji, Megumi, all these individuals, they've come to the understanding that losing the technique will mean death. A lot of people in this Culling game might not realize that or kind of come to that same conclusion, but some could. And thus they can see, within 7 days, I think at this point, within 7 days, if they don't get any points, they're dead. So they have to kill. It's kill or, be killed. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of bloodthirsty people here, but yeah, the moment they get in there, boom. It starts. But yeah, overall, really solid episode. I really did enjoy this episode. I think that beginning segment was kind of very interesting. Of course, seeing Kenjaku luring people out, or at least escorting people out. It is odd to see that he's willing to do that, and maybe that's just to get people out of the way so they don't have to bother about giving people points that shouldn't be getting points. But it's very odd that Kenjaku was going out of his way to bring people out of that. And that could be the idea of, again, not wanting them to get in the way, not wanting them to get points that are unnecessary. But it could also be the idea that he has some sort of empathy for those that are not sorcerers, trying to protect people. And again, trying to get more lives to be included in this later, ritual that'll all be included together for these pillars and whatnot. But I don't know. I'm kind of curious as to his purpose for that. But I did like the fact that, yes, he's specifically going to Sasaki in this opening segment because, yes, it leads into what they've been kind of hinting at with that little brief flashback that, yes, Kenjaku sees Yuji as his son. And he escorts Sasaki out, says, hey, don't make these, I like the fact that he's like, you got to get out of here because people are going to start killing each other. There's a barrier erected. You don't want to be a part of this, right? Let's get you out of here. He's like, why don't you stop fighting in my neighborhood? That'd be great. Don't kill in my neighborhood, please. Don't make unreasonable requests and whatnot. But yeah, kind of escorts her out. And then at some point again saying, thanks for being my son's friend. And I was like, Oh, that's that girl. I completely forgot who she was. So we're following this girl. I'm the entire time thinking it's just gonna be some random extra. And I'm like, oh yeah, it was the girl from the very beginning. I forgot about her. We're having a lot of people kind of jump back up into the story like out of nowhere that's not been in the story for a long time. But that was kind of interesting to see that whole situation there. And again, making that connection between Kenjaku and Yuji. But that's when we jump over to the Yuji and the crew trying to talk Kenji into joining them. Mention the fact that Kojo's been sealed away. The principal's dead. Yeah, like Yuji trying to, console Panda. It's like Panda's like, no, don't worry. He wasn't involved with the whole Shibuya thing. That's not what I'm talking about. Oh, that's fine too. I'm perfectly fine. But yes, Kenji kind of being a little bit shocked by the fact that, yeah, the two people that kind of supported him are like no longer around. Like this is a double whammy. But I like the fact that the one thing that's the most shocking to Kenji is the fact that Megumi is the next head of the Zenpen clan. He's like, we're making a deal. I'm not just helping you. We're making a deal. I want some regulation changes. And Megumi's like, that's perfectly fine. I'm the head of the Zenpen clan. Oh, really? Really? Hey, friendo. Like, he wants to be bestest friends now. He's like, that's the biggest shock out of everything. Not the fact that Gojo's sealed away, not that the principal's dead, but no, the fact that Megumi and my opportunity to get in with the Zenpen clans right here. I can get my changes right here. But yeah, so when we get the announcement of the new rule again, we technically get the announcement again, that they're adding this new rule to be able to find people, and they go ahead and use that in order to check out who's making all the points. But here was the interesting thing, because yes, Megumi realizes, wait, hold on a second. Yuji's being seen as a player already, which, yes, technically makes sense. He's got Sukuna inside of him, so the assumption here is that Sukuna has made some sort of pact here and he's included with this whole thing. So before the Culling game even began, Yuji was pretty much brought into the whole situation. So he already has himself one of these little Koganes, which yes, also makes sense, the idea of the Kogane even being there, because otherwise they would have never gotten this news. This Kogane would never have shown up here to tell them about the new rule unless Yuji was actually a part of it. So it's actually kind of a plus for them in this situation, because none of them have actually been recruited into the Culling game yet. But yeah, they decide, because there are people making points already, they go ahead and look at who's making the most points, and instead of actually killing people to essentially make the rules, they'll just go find somebody that already has the points, which honestly, for me, that sounds a little bit more dangerous. You're going to actively go find the people that have made points already, which presumes that they've actually killed people already, and hope that you can actually talk them into it, which seems a little difficult. Nah, it could be out of self-defense, though. But no, the solutions that Megumi comes up with right here are actually kind of interesting, in the idea that they could make 2 new rules. One being the ability to transfer points, that way they can get around the rule that requires them to make points within a certain amount of time, otherwise they get stripped of their technique. And additionally, make the ability to be able to spend points to lead the game, which, yes, as Kenji says, would technically come in conflict with the idea of ending the game, but Megumi suggests bringing non-players into it to replace them. Now, I kind of wonder what his plan is here in order to replace people with, because I guess criminals? I guess just replace all the innocent people inside the Culling game with those that are criminals outside of the game. I'm questioning, okay, that sounds like a cool idea there to get around it, but who are you going to add to it? Who are you going to throw into the Culling game to replace people? I don't know. It's an option, I guess. I mean, it kind of goes to my theory of the idea of just making it to where it's an unending event and nobody dies over that period of time, and just let it extend forever. And thus the Culling game is always existing. It's just that nobody actually is taking part in it. It's just constantly going. But yeah, with that in mind, they have their plan and set. They got to go find Angel and Hajime and Hiromi. Megumi and Yuji go after Higuruma, which, yes, like I said earlier, the moment they enter, immediately get attacked, immediately spawn camped. Megumi first is more interesting because, of course, the moment that he enters, apparently he ran into some chick and beat her immediately. And she's like sitting here playing victim. Oh, I would hit a lady like this. You attack me first. Oh, you're the type that beats, submission into women and asks them questions. They have to listen. He's like, just tell me where this damn person is already. Very manipulative person, obviously. This chick is very manipulative, trying to control him in some way, or at least trying to give this persona that she is weak and needs help. Become my knight. Okay, sure, whatever. Am I that boring to you? He's like, I don't care. Like, I do like the fact that Megumi this entire time is like, I don't care. Give me my answers. Oh, you're just going to beat me in this mission. Whatever. Shut up. Tell me where he's at. Oh, okay. I'll tell you where he's at if you become my knight. Yeah, okay. Yeah, whatever. Let's do it. I just love how no nonsense Megumi is this entire time. He's just so freaking amazing. I do like what he says at some point, though, because he realizes that, yes, people here are going to start manipulating people, but unlike Yuji, I'm willing to kill people. I don't necessarily need this information from this chick in front of me. I'm going to see if she can give me the information and find this person, but if I have to, I'll kill. If I need those 100 points, I'll kill for him. And again, that does, of course, show the difference between Yuji and Megumi. Is Yuji, of course, is kind of currently broken because, yes, a lot of people died in what he believes is his fault, and thus taking lives is a little bit more kind of difficult for him right now. Megumi over here, he's trying to stop this Culling game for his sister. And he's willing to sacrifice people in front of himself in order to get that accomplished. But yes, Megumi does get a little awakening here in the idea that this person in front of him is basically talking about how, like, no, I'm not some sorcerer from the past. I'm a current one. And unlike a lot of other people that were led out of here, we didn't have a choice. We're thrown into this and it's kill or be killed. And yeah, like Megumi puts it, it's basically the people of the past, the sorcerers of the past, the grit and the desire of them to fight has sort of kind of spawned that desire into the people that are currently modern times. They don't really have a choice. They have to survive. They're going to fight and they're going to kill. They're going to deceive. As we see at the very end of the episode, they're going to deceive. If they can get Yuji and Megumi to either let down their guard or essentially assist them in some way to kill others, they're going to do it. While I do think that Megumi gave him some bad advice, I don't think Yuji handled it all that bad. The moment that he got there, he was able to take down the two. Rocket head lady and the propeller haircut. I'm guessing they're like related. Like that was the father and that was the daughter ? Because they both have the same exact technique. So I'm assuming it's, then they're in the same bloodline. But I think he said honey or something like that. So I'm assuming they were married. I don't care. Either way, They had the same kind of technique. They're both like based on hair transforming into something that's airborne. So a helicopter and a plane chick. But yeah, apparently the two of them had with them a lackey, which was Amai Rin. And Amai Rin ends up confronting Yuji afterwards and says that he knows this Higuruma guy and starts to lead him around. While the entire time we're having that whole conversation with Megumi and this other individual, I'm kind of wondering right now that this Amai Rin, like I said earlier, is probably going to be, I mean, could be Higuruma, but I think it's probably going to be a past sorcerer that has taken over their body. Yeah, immediately he's like, oh, it's Yuji. I know you from our neighborhood. Oh, you're from my neighborhood? Yeah, you seem to not recognize me. But again, he seems a bit overly confident. And again, if he's some random dude from his neighborhood, he probably wasn't a sorcerer. I think he's probably going to be a past sorcerer. Now, why he was, working under Haba and Hanyu, who seem like they're not that powerful, the assumption there is that they were just kind of chilling, waiting for somebody with actual power to take down. Again, giving to other people that perspective that they're weak until eventually they can jump out and attack. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see, though. But yeah, at the end, they tell Yuji and Megumi completely different things. Higuruma is in Shinjuku and Ikebukuro. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, that's a good start. Honestly, that's a very good start for the Culling games. I'm not really too much of a massive fan of like just nothing but fights and all that kind of stuff. So I don't really technically look forward to things like this that are kind of a tournament type of arc. But it's been a good setup so far. I'm kind of interested to see where it goes from here. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that you have a lot of individuals here that, one, are outside their comfort zone, or two, are just people from the past that have, experienced fighting their entire lives, all sort of being jumbled up in this big battlefield that has sort of changed people. So I'll be interested to see how they kind of evolve it over time. Anyhow, that's my thoughts on episode 54 of Jujutsu Kaisen. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, hit the like button down below. If you like this content, you want to support channel more, become a member. Until next time, you'll take care.